Let's talk about an idea. What if our entire economy wasn't just built on profit, but on purpose? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating model designed to do exactly that. It's called Karmanomy, basically an economy of goodness.
And it all really starts with this one powerful question. I mean, think about it. What if the systems that run our world, our economies, our policies, valued things like kindness and helping your community just as much as they value, technical skill or financial success? That's the core challenge Karmanomy is trying to solve.
Because here's the strange situation we find ourselves in, right? We have incredible wealth, incredible technology, but at the same time, we're seeing growing inequality and this deep feeling of disconnect. The argument here is that our problem isn't a lack of stuff, it's a lack of a shared purpose.
So, to really get a handle on the solution, we first need to talk about the problem, specifically how we measure success right now. It's time to look past old metrics like GDP.
And this really lays it out. For decades, GDP has been the big number, right? It measures growth and consumption, which is basically how much stuff we take and use. Karmanomy flips the script. What if instead we measured goodness, contribution, the value we give back to society? Right now, there's no real economic value for selfless acts, and that kind of creates a moral vacuum in our system.
So what is this alternative? What is Karmanomy really? Let's break it down.
At its heart, Karmanomy is a structured system. Now, for anyone in policy or economics, these next words are key. It's designed to be measurable, rewardable, and scalable. I know what you're thinking. How do you measure goodness? And yeah, that's a huge challenge. But the goal here is to take that intangible idea, a good deed, and plug it into a real ecosystem that can build what it calls moral capital.
So where does this fit in? Well, it's not trying to completely replace capitalism or socialism. It's presented as a third model. See, capitalism is driven by consumption and socialism by distribution. Karmanomy's driver is regeneration, this idea of creating and renewing value. So its main goal isn't just about profit or redistribution, it's about creating value in a much broader sense.
Okay, so that's the big picture theory. But for policymakers, for economists, for anyone trying to see if this is viable, the real question is, how does it actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts.
The whole thing runs on a platform called GoWow. Here's the flow. Somebody does a good deed, say planting trees or tutoring a student. That act gets verified on the platform. Once it's verified, they earn two things. First, WOW points, which represent their moral capital. And second, they might also earn WOW coins, which are actual financial incentives. This dual currency system is absolutely key. The points are for that inner motivation, while the coins offer a real practical reward, maybe backed by things like CSR funds.
So how do you quantify all that moral capital? Well, the system uses something called the social civil score. The easiest way to think about it is like a credit score, but for your social contribution. It gives us a standard way to measure the positive impact of a person or a company based on these 5 pillars: character, integrity, virtue, impact, and leadership. It literally makes goodness a measurable asset.
And the whole thing is built on a tech platform they call Impact as a Service. Now, for anyone worried about accountability, this part is for you. It uses tools like blockchain to make sure everything is verified and legit. It's all about transparent dashboards for stakeholders. The entire system is built on what they call the 3 T's: transparency, trust, and transparency. Okay, a new economic model sounds cool, but it's only useful if it can actually plug into the world we have now. So how does Karmanomy connect with existing policies and business structures?
The idea here is to enhance current programs, not totally replace them. It gives a measurable framework for corporate social responsibility, potentially turning it from just a cost into a real value creator. It lines up perfectly with things like extended producer responsibility, or EPR, and circular economy goals by rewarding positive actions. It even floats new ideas like social advertising, where marketing money could fund social projects instead of just buying ads.
And this quote really sums up the ambition behind it all. It's about getting companies to move beyond just ticking a box for CSR. It's about shifting to a deeper sense of corporate purpose, what they call a spiritual responsibility.
Now, nobody thinks a change this big can happen overnight. This is seen as a long-term evolution, and there's a pretty clear phased roadmap for how it could unfold.
The whole plan plays out over decades. You see, it starts with just building awareness and getting people involved. Then it moves to building the actual economic structures around goodwill. From there, the goal is adoption into corporate and government policy. And the long-term vision? Full integration into society by 2050.
This kind of strategic, long-game approach is really what makes a huge shift like this feel, at least plausible.
So when you boil it all down, the metrics, the tech, the roadmap, it all serves one single massive mission: to help us evolve from a world that's purely profit-centric to a civilization that's truly purpose-centric.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. In a world that's facing so many complex challenges, maybe it's finally time to build an economy where doing good isn't just a nice thing to do, but the best and smartest investment we can possibly make.